Welcome to the premiere episode of Two Dudes with Attitudes, a wrestling podcast. I am Mr. MWO, and with me every single time, as always, the other dude in the Two Dudes, Mr. Shooting Star Press. What's going on, my man?
Not much, man. Just living the dream. Excited to do this. Excited to launch this podcast and talk wrestling. I think this is gonna be a fun one.
It's going to be good. And before we get our intros going and what we're going to talk about, I just have to say, after last night's tragic events, I would like to have a moment of silence for my girl, Mandy Rose's title reign. Really quick. With me, everybody. All right. May it be the greatest NXT women's title reign ever. Joking aside, what's going on? And really quick, we are super excited about this podcast. We're stoked. We're pumped. We think the name is hip. We're excited that you guys are tuning in with us. We're going to do a lot of fun things with this. We're going to do YouTube posted all the time on our YouTube account. We're going to go live on our YouTube account. We're going to have this streaming on Spotify. We're going to be doing it sooner or later on Apple once we get that bad boy started. So you can listen to it in the car. You can watch us if you want to see our beautiful mugs on a vid, do both of them. And then we're also going to be doing a lot of things with Twitch as well, where we're going to be adding in special events where we'll do watch-alongs and such on our Twitch account so you guys can get the whole Two Dude with Attitudes experience. And I just want to shout out a couple sponsors right quick because I know that sooner or later we're going to get pretty big. So I want these two sponsors. I want them to hear me now beforehand. So, hey, maybe you know what? They can jump on the bandwagon before we get, a little too big and, we might have to ask for a little something. So believe it or not, number one, Blue Chew, listen to me, bro. I want that Blue Chew money. I want that Blue Chew sponsorship.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I'm a married man. I'm 42. I be Blue Chewing it up all the time. Thanks to 83 Weeks and Eric Bischoff. Just saying, throwing it out there. Second one, Pro Wrestling Tees. I always am rocking a wrestling t-shirt. Always. As you can see, I'm rocking Toxic today for Miss Mandy Rose. Always doing it. So sponsors, get people, when you be watching this podcast, let them know. Jump on the bandwagon before that bandwagon is gone. All right, y'all? Just letting you know. What you thinking? Shooting Star, how was your week, by the way?
It was tiring. I just came back from Disney last week, and so I need a vacation from my vacation. We did a lot of walking. We were up late, way past my bedtime. I'm an old man, and I go to bed around 10 o'clock, and we were staying out till midnight when the parks closed. And so I need a vacation from that vacation. So, but luckily the holidays are right around the corner, and I'll have some time off coming up. But again, that's still going to be crazy with all, because I'm in the South and we do holidays with like 15 members of the family. We do it up big down here.
Yeah. Cali, we kind of, not as big, but man, I have never. So I'm about an hour away from Disneyland. I live in LA County, Southern California. So I have gone 1,000 kabillion times. I've been an annual pass holder for basically my entire life almost at Disneyland, but I've never been to Walt Disney World. So that's a pretty cool experience. Glad you got to go. We talked a little bit about it. I think there's similarities with rides and such, but I think it's a lot more. You can do Disneyland in a day. You can't do Walt Disney World in a day. That's what I hear, right?
No, I've been to Disneyland, and funny enough, when I was in Disneyland, this was like 2000, this was before my kids were born. So it was pre-children. I got to meet Mel B of the Spice Girls.
Sporty. That's sporty, right? Scary.
Yeah.
Scary is Mel.
And the funny thing is I didn't know who the hell she was. So we were with a group of people, and my wife gave me her phone and said, "Hey, can you ask this woman over here to take a picture of us?" So I walked up to this random woman and I said, "Hey, will you take a picture of us?" And she was like, "Absolutely, I'd love to take a picture with you," and like started taking a selfie. I'm like, "Wait, what are you doing? Like, what are you like?" No, like I meant like take a picture of us. Hold my phone, like I'll show you how to do it. Yeah. Turns out people were like, "You know who that was, right?" And I was like, "No." They were like, "That's Mel B." And I was like, "Oh, okay, well, I'm Ryan S." Like that name never registered with me. And until they told me she was Scary Spice, I was like, "Oh shit." So yeah, that's my my Disneyland
That
story.
might be the best story I've heard in a long time,
Yeah.
especially non-wrestling related. That was a
Yeah.
fantastic story. And man, I mean, shout out to her, right? At least she was willing to take a picture. A lot of celebs
Yeah.
don't. She was all
Yeah.
for it. But I would think she would dig that. I think she would have dug the fact that you wanted her just to take a
Yeah.
picture
I
and
was like,
not
I have no
actually.
idea who you are. I don't, but when I found out afterwards, I was like, man, I wish I would have let her take that selfie with me. But, neither here nor
That
there.
would have been a good selfie, especially with you
Yeah.
like all mad in it, like
Yeah.
girl, get
Like,
off my phone with
yeah. Like,
her.
what are you
Yeah.
doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And her, that would have been a pretty classic one. But all right, man. And so for all the listeners out there as well, what we're gonna do on this podcast, you get us twice a week now. We're gonna do 2 episodes a week, Wednesdays and Fridays. Wednesdays, we're going to cover all things WWE. So we're going to cover SmackDown, Raw, NXT, any pay-per-views that are going on, stuff like that. And then on Fridays, we will be covering all things AEW, Rampage, Dynamite, pay-per-views as well. And we're going to mix in a few segments every single episode that we are going to do once, 1, 2, however many special guests, things like that. So it's going to be good times. Good times here.
Yeah, we're gonna make it fun. We're gonna make it different. We're gonna be, one thing you will be is highly entertained. I guarantee you.
I sure damn hope so. So
Yeah.
with that going in, we will always start our podcast with the week in review, and we're doing a WWE style SmackDown, man. SmackDown, I thought actually was a pretty good episode.
Oh yeah.
SmackDown, it's been, it hasn't been as hot as it was, but it's still, I think, the best show, wrestling show weekly. I know some people disagree. Some people like Dynamite, Impact's been getting some love, but I am digging SmackDown still. The LA Knight and Bray Wyatt thing is something I really wanted to talk about, though, is that I'm really not digging this. I was kind of feeling it at first a little bit with the headbutt, with the backstage segments. I'm kind of drifting out of it a little bit right now. And I don't know if it's so much Bray Wyatt's not really doing anything in it. I mean, they're not even showing him anymore. It's just kind of Uncle Howdy in the background. But this week was weird. For one, LA Knight, I'm not digging his look. I mean, he came out in clothes that if he would have sneezed, he would have been full blown naked in the ring. Everything on him would have ripped off his body. And I wear tight clothes myself, so I'm not dogging the skinny jeans, but I'm saying his stuff was like when you take skinny jeans and make them even skinnier.
Yeah.
And he came out and cut a promo. It was kind of meh. He says, yeah, a lot. And then he went backstage to kind of own up shop and find Bray Wyatt, and then he kind of just got lost in the shuffle, and we never heard about it again. We saw he walked into a room, Uncle Howdy was there, and then the end, man. We no speak of it again. I don't know what's going on with this Shooting Star. I don't know if you're feeling this, if you're digging this Bray Wyatt thing, but I think we need to move on with it, and Bray needs to get his ass in the ring. I am digging something else they're doing with Bray Wyatt, which we'll talk about later on, but I'm not feeling this Shooting Star at all.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of it either. I want Bray Wyatt in the ring. He came back in October, and here we are in November or December now, rather, and he still hasn't had a single match. We don't know what he's going to look like in the ring. I also, I do like LA Knight, and he's somebody that went from Max Dupree of the Maximum Male Models, changed his gimmick because Vince McMahon's no longer there, and now Triple H is taking over, and we all know what's going on there. And I don't think LA Knight can afford a loss if he goes into a match with Bray Wyatt. But I also don't think Bray Wyatt should lose in his first match back either. So I'm curious to see what they're going to do and how they're going to do it. But I'm ready for them to get a move on it already and get them in the ring, and let's just see what happens. But I'm not feeling it. I'm not the promo stuff, the back and forth, the LA Knight calling him out like that. It's just okay. Like what's going to happen? Like,
well,
come on.
Yeah. And why call out if you're going to have no end result on this episode?
Yeah.
Like you walked in again and there's Uncle Howdy. Like what was the point of that? You made up a good point though, is that you're saying that having these two guys who kind of are starting to begin their pushes, right? They both kind of, LA Knight came back around the same time Bray Wyatt returned, LA Knight coming from the Maximum Male Model gig. So yeah, why have them go together? And that's what I've kind of not dug about it, is that you gotta, like, why not have them other people meet later down the road? But even so, the dynamic of them two didn't make sense anyway. When I thought Bray Wyatt, I never once thought like, damn, you know what I need? I need a Bray Wyatt, LA Knight like feud. It's going to be off the chain. LA Knight's all about it. Like his gimmick is like fits that vibe. It doesn't fit at all. I agree.
Especially his first feud back, and a lot of that to me too is how Bray Wyatt was booked before. You know,
Mhm.
he feuded with Seth Rollins and lost the title. He feuded with Goldberg and lost the title. He lost so many daggone times that I don't think he can afford another loss. And I really thought, okay, Triple H will get this right because he's working directly with Bray. Bray apparently has full creative control. They've hired a horror writer that was going to work with Bray Wyatt to, he's the one that created all the White Rabbit vignettes and everything. And
Mhm.
so he's working closely with everybody. But yeah, I just don't know if LA Knight was the right guy for his first feud. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'll be proven wrong. Maybe they'll figure out, maybe he does lose, and that's when Bray Wyatt snaps into his multiple personalities, and that's what starts this Wyatt 6 thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just don't think he needs to lose right away, and I don't think LA Knight should lose either.
Yeah.
So
And I like those points as well. And just the whole, I don't know. I'm starting to think I was mad at Vince McMahon in the past about how they treated Bray Wyatt, right?
yeah,
How I felt like Bray was phenomenal and that Vince was holding him back. But I'm not feeling him right now either. And this is a whole nother regime. This is Triple H. Is it WWE or is it Bray Wyatt? You know what I mean? So I guess only time will tell. We had Sami Zayn as well in a quick promo that I dug with Jey Uso basically telling him Roman's going to be here next week. Cut your damn beard and hair. Look good. I am very intrigued on where that's going. If that is leading to something maybe where he's going to show up all clean cut again, and then Roman's going to be like, "What the hell did you do that for? Like, why are you
yeah,
all clean cut and this and that?" Or is he going to be like, "Who the hell do you think you are? I see you kind of trying to lead this group now. You're cutting your hair now. You think you're me. So is this a Jay setup? Is this the build to the bloodline breakup? This little thing like getting his haircut, is that building? I mean, he had everyone leave the room before he said it. I think it's a
yeah.
pretty intriguing thing in my opinion. And then the Kurt Angle stuff was fun, right? Seeing Kurt Angle come out, do the milk thing again. With the whole thing with Kurt, though, for one, I feel bad for him. Looks like he can barely even walk
Oh
around
my gosh,
an arena.
I know.
I feel very bad, especially because he was, 100% pure athlete of athletes. But I'm intrigued with him too, is if he's going to manage Gable Stevenson. They brought Gable Stevenson with him. He was kind of introducing him to people. They both have the Olympic background. I was, I'm intrigued. There were some things sprinkling in this SmackDown that I'm kind of seeing that it might bring into the future. But anything with that shooting star? Do you like anything else? Any other segments that maybe popped out?
I like I am digging what they're doing with Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn, my doppelganger. I love what they're doing with him. To me, I think he might be superstar of the year, with just everything that he has done, and he's made that bloodline angle, he's rejuvenated it a little bit. I think people were getting a little tired of the same thing all the time, and Sami Zayn has breathed some life into it. And then regarding the just other stuff, I thought the match of the night was the tag team title match with Usos and Sheamus and Pete Dunne or
Pete Dunne, yeah,
Butch, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. And so again, Sheamus is he is on the run of his life right now. He's not winning a lot, but
Mhm.
he is on the run of his life. This is the best I've seen Sheamus look in the ring since I don't know when. It's been a long time since I've been this invested in Sheamus's character.
I agree. And the Brawling Brutes are so over. They're
Oh
doing their
yeah.
thing. They're going big. Yeah, man, I'm digging. I'm digging everything they're doing. I agree with you 100%. Fading into that Monday Night Raw, man. We'll go into some Monday Night Raw. Alexa Bliss, she goes over on Bayley, which made sense because I don't think you, I, or anybody in this world wanted to see Bayley versus Bianca again. I don't get the point of Alexa versus Bianca either, but what I'm thinking, we all saw that magic moment. They go to hug. Bray Wyatt's thing flashes in the background, and she about to put her in the Sister Abigail, and kind of snaps back, and then walks out, kind of confused on like what's going on with her. Right? Is this some Papa Shango stuff? What's going on with this? But I am digging it. I want to throw out my theory. I've had this for a while. This is our first premiere episode of this podcast. Our listeners may not have heard. I am in the belief that Alexa Bliss is the puppet master of Bray Wyatt. I have compared it to Black Widow in the Hulk, that Black Widow in Marvel, for all you Marvel nerds out there, that, she kind of can tame him, right? Bring him back, let him go, so on and so on. I truly think Alexa Bliss is that person. I think she works with Bray. I think she needs a character push. I liked her almost not the most of her career, but I do like her as this person. And I think she's going to be the one that kind of tells Bray where to go, right? Like, you need to be the Fiend, go become the Fiend. You need to be Uncle Howdy, go become Uncle Howdy. You need to be Bray Wyatt with your little thing, go be Bray Wyatt with your little, light up thing. You're going to be whoever I tell you, all his 6 characters. I think she's going to be controlling him. And I think her Bianca match, we're going to find that out. She's going to lose, but I think we're going to get her transformation possibly in that match.
Yeah, I agree. And I actually, this is the side of Bray Wyatt that I'm excited about. I'm not so much feeling the LA Knight thing. That just feels like filler to get to this. But yeah, I'm excited to see what they do with Alexa Bliss. I hate that. I'm glad that Alexa Bliss is the number 1 contender for Bianca Belair's championship. But at the same time, I hate that it came at the expense of Bayley, because while I don't want to see another Bianca Belair Bayley match, because I know that Bianca Belair is going to beat Bayley, I'm just so disappointed with how Bayley, since she came back, and we'll talk about this later, but since Bayley came back, she's done nothing but lose. And it's really, I hate that it came at her expense with Alexa Bliss becoming the top contender. But no, this is the side of Bray that I want to see. I'm curious to see who this puppet master is. Is she Uncle Howdy? Is she going to be Sister Abigail? Is she going to be somebody completely different? Is she going to be Abby the Witch? Like, who knows? And I'm curious to see where it goes.
Yeah, me too. Did you enjoy that KO segment with Elias? Come on, man. You
I
had
did.
to have dug that.
Oh, I dug it. I loved it. I loved the fact that that they reunited the two, and then they put them in the ring together, and then KO stunned him at the end after Elias shook his hand. Yeah, I'm all in on Elias.
I mean, but are you thinking this is a push, or do you think they're kind of putting him down? Like, what's your take? Because I know you like Elias, that's why I brought him up. I mean,
he's another guy that Triple H brings back just to have them lose and put over talent. But no, I thought I didn't. I'll tell you this: I did not dig the Elias segment with the song about Matt Riddle. It just kind of felt off. It felt weird. It felt really just kind of dumb, in my opinion.
It was.
Yeah, but at the same time, I do like one thing I do like that WWE is doing is they're kind of working the bloodline in with multiple people. So instead of it being just the bloodline and the Brawling Brutes, it's, you have the Usos and the Brutes, and then you have Sami and Solo going against Elias and Matt Riddle, and you still have Roman Reigns and his beef with Kevin Owens. And so I like how they're, intertwining them with a bunch of different people. I think that's cool. It tells multiple stories within one show, which you don't really see a lot of that anymore in the previous regime with especially.
Yeah.
But yeah, I dug the KO Elias segment, and I dug the aftermath when KO stunned him. I thought that was great.
Well, and I just like KO because the WWE has had long-term memory loss, right? They don't remember anything that happened. Maybe they even have short-term. I mean, they got it all, right? They don't remember shit that happens. I like that KO doesn't allow that. I didn't even think when I saw them in the backstage segment, I didn't go like, wait a minute, but there was KO to remind us. Did you not remember what you did to me for months? And he looks at homegirl and is like, months? And it's just, and the fact that he left and came back, it was just KO gold at the fact that he's like, this moron, I don't care if you're Elias, Ezekiel. And he even said, even if I believe it, the last time you saw me, you broke a guitar, not that guitar, but you broke a guitar over my head that no longer exists because you broke it over my head. It's just KO needs a title run. That's all I'm saying.
Yes,
the dude is like, the dude is on another level.
KO and Sami Zayn have this incredible knack to turn chicken shit into chicken salad.
For sure.
The Ezekiel stuff should not have gone as well as it did. And when he came out the night after WrestleMania, I remember there were a lot of people, myself included, was like, what? Like, what is going on? But then it quickly became one of the most entertaining things on the show because of Kevin Owens. And the Johnny Knoxville match at WrestleMania with Sami Zayn should not have been as entertaining as it was, but the build for it was great because of Sami Zayn and his phone number getting released to TMZ and, people calling him and leaving voicemails and those kinds of things. Like, these two guys, KO and Sami Zayn, can turn chicken shit into chicken salad, and they can take the worst things and turn it into gold. And it's incredible to see. And that's a rare feat that a lot of guys don't have.
Oh, for sure. And This isn't a shout out to Stone Cold or trying to dog him because I love me some Stone Cold, but that Mania match is nothing if you don't have KO wrestling with him.
No,
And
yeah,
KO carried his ass through that whole entire match and made that match a banger.
he
So, I
did.
mean,
Yeah,
KO deserves the respect. And you're talking about pushes on Monday Night Raw, Judgment Day, man. I'm glad that they're kind of back in the spotlight. They were kind of carrying Raw for a while. Now they're just kind of showing up. But I mean, we got Dom getting a big win with in the 6-man tag against the Street Profits. And then we also had Asuka losing to Rhea Ripley getting that win. And I think my favorite part of it was after when Dom, gets sprayed in the eyes and he's in the back trying to get
mommy, it
fixed.
hurts. Yeah,
Mommy, it
mommy,
hurts.
it burns. Yeah, yeah,
Mommy, it burns. And they're using like eye things that, when you're like high and you're trying to cover up your red eyes, they're like
yeah.
squirting in the stuff in his eyes. And Finn Balor is like, you're an idiot. Who is this guy? And Dom's like, who's this guy? Is he even licensed to spray my eyes? It was just fantastic high school banter. And that's what Dom should be, right? This little punk ass kid who there was even a part in the match where he went to go in and it wasn't Montez, or maybe it was, I don't know. But one of them went like that to him, like a big, what are you going to do? And Dom ran out of the ring. Like, nope,
yeah,
I'm out.
so,
he don't want, they're not even afraid of him. But he's getting the victories. And that's what a chicken shit heel should be. And I mean, Dominic, he has everything going for him right now, man. And so does Judgment Day with Rhea. Rhea's going to win the title. I think Dom's going to beat his dad at Mania. And, you have the story with him wrestling and hating on one of the most loved wrestlers ever. He gets the mock and mimic one of the most beloved wrestlers in Eddie Guerrero. And he has the whole chicken shit, I'm the bottom to Rhea's top. And it's just all money. Dominic is going to be a shooting star sooner rather than later. The dude is awesome. And I'm loving the Judgment Day, adding in Priest more. Finn Balor, I feel like, is about to get a title shot in some capacity. I just feel like it's going to be 2023 is going to be the year of Judgment Day. And Toxic Attraction. I'm feeling some things going on.
To me, what's crazy is I try to look at how, because we're approaching the end of the year, and I want to look at how the year started versus how it's ending. And Finn Balor was kind of a nobody floundering on the main roster. I think he lost the US title like right before WrestleMania or something. Didn't even get to wrestle at WrestleMania.
He didn't.
And then and Dominic was the one that everybody wanted him to go to NXT. They wanted him to stop hanging out, to get Ray and Dominic off the TV. That's all I kept hearing. Put Dominic in NXT, let Ray do his thing. And now look at him. It's incredible what a couple of months and some good booking can do.
Right? No, definitely. It's magic. And that leads into, we want to talk about futures. NXT had a pay-per-view this past Saturday, and boy, was it a banger as well. They brought it. HBK brought it with the booking, but the entire Apollo Crews brought it with Braun Breaker. I mean, I thought everybody showed out, but I just really want to focus on these Iron Survivor challenges and the New Day. And the Iron Survivor challenges, man, I was not sure how I was going to feel about it, right? And I really liked that the announcers during the matches really pushed how being number one was bad. Because I think the whole internet and all of us were talking about, why would you not want to be number one? You have the whole entire time to get as many pinfalls as possible. You come in number 5, you have 10 minutes to kind of, but they were making it like, no, it's a refreshed guy. This guy's going to come in. But that women's match, I thought was the better of the two. For sure. Only because it was less pinfalls. I did not enjoy watching top talent get pinned 6 times in a 25-minute frame, like in the men's match. The women's match did it right. The winner, Roxanne Perez, only got 2 pins. That was it. They had somebody get 0 in both matches, which kind of sucks. You can't even give these people 1 pin, especially JD McDonough, which we'll go into. But the men's match, I like that Grayson Waller came out and just double stunnered 2 dudes, got 2 pins in 1 second, put 2 dudes out. Carmelo Hayes, I don't care. If you don't know him, go watch NXT right now and only watch Carmelo Hayes. The dude is the flipping future of WWE. And he should have won. I thought he should have won. I'm okay with Grayson Waller winning, though. I think he'll be he's got a good mic. He speaks well. He's got a good gimmick. He's cocky, good looking guy. He can high fly. But I really dug both matches. They surprised me. I enjoyed them. I mean, yeah, man. I mean, what wasn't there to like, right? Other than, like I said, the men's match, I think the winner had did he have 4 pins? But everybody had 3 pins. There was 20 total pins in that match. I just thought, like, there's no reason why, if these are your 5 best wrestlers, why are you having them, like, Axiom, I think, took 6 pins or something like that. Like, what was the point of him if he's going to just get pinned every other 3 minutes? But, yeah.
Yeah, I'll go and say that I thought the women's Iron Survivor match was way better than the women's War Games match at Survivor Series.
Okay, I'm with that.
That's my hot take for the show today. In the season premiere of Two Dudes with Attitudes.
Dropping the smoke.
That's my hot take. But I thought it was entertaining. I thought they did it right. I loved all the near falls too. I was like, oh my gosh, like how many times are people going to kick out at 2? And I thought it was just an entertaining match from start to finish. And I thought the right person won. I thought it was a good person to win, Roxanne Perez. I like her. I dig her. I think she's obviously has a bright future ahead of her with in NXT, and curious to see where she goes. I like the men's War Games match at Survivor Series better than I like the men's Iron Survivor match. I just just the storytelling in that match was way better, but this one just seemed, you like you said, you had 2 people that didn't score any pins. You had too many people getting 4 or 5 pins. It was just kind of a cluster. And I get they wanted to be different from each other, but yeah, I enjoyed the women's match way more than the men's match.
Yeah, and the chaos I enjoyed. I agree with you on the comparisons of the Survivor Series War Game matches, but like I said, I just thought they got pinned too much, but I still enjoyed it. It was chaotic, it was fun, it was fast paced, and the only reason why I would say I like these ones better than the War Game ones is because I hate cages. I've stated that before. If you've ever heard it, I don't like it because I can't see half the match. I know they got a cameraman in there, but this you can see it all. I like the NXT production. They kind of had that pan off on the whole ring the entire time. You're not really missing much. And 5 guys is a lot better than 10. You know what I mean? There's just less guys to focus on. I did dig it a lot. And once again, both people who won, I think it's good. It's 2 good W's. Let's also give a shout out to Cora Jade's outfit in that match as well, people.
Yeah, she was.
So I don't care what anybody
bombshell.
says, but that outfit stole the show. And I think the surprise of the night was New Day, man. When they announced New Day was going to challenge Pretty Deadly, the first thing I thought of was good on HBK. He keeps bringing back these WWE guys to kind of either rejuvenate their careers or to push other talent. And I didn't for one think that, hey, New Day would win. I thought there was no chance. Pretty Deadly is super good, super talented. Their gimmick is hilarious. It's like 2 Shawn Michaels. You know what I mean, with their vibe of the Heartbreak Kid back in the days, with what they're doing, or maybe even like a Shawn Michaels and a Chris Jericho when he was like the cruiserweight champion. Jericho used to do his hair in a pony and had like sparklers coming out of his championship belt, with the whole, not so masculinity gimmicks. But I really dig them. And to see New Day win, I was kind of like, okay. But now since I've sat on it, I actually am really feeling it. I did enjoy when Dolph Ziggler won the NXT championship, because I think it's him being champion will put eyeballs on the product. And then he gave it to Braun Breaker, and that was supposed to kind of push Braun Breaker, right? So I'm hoping for the same thing, that NXT is going to put some eyeballs. They're doing nothing with New Day and WWE right now other than jobbing. Why not have them come to NXT? Why not give them that, that chance to kind of have a title reign again? And, Homeboy never even had a title run. I mean, this is Kofi's 15th, I think they said, which is super, super cool. So I dug it, and I'm kind of I'm looking forward to seeing who they're going to put over to give those belts back when they're ready to march into WrestleMania season. So
yeah, I'm torn on this, because it kind of feels, at first I was the same as you. I wasn't really feeling New Day being the tag champs. But now that I've sat on it for a little bit, I'm okay with it. But at first, my immediate reaction was, okay, you have Apollo Crews in there, in the world title picture. You had Dolph Ziggler in there earlier this year. Now you have the New Day. It seems like NXT is it's no longer the place for developmental. It's the place to go if WWE has nothing for you on the main roster. And that was kind of my attitude with the New Day. They haven't done anything on the main roster this year. They had that great match with the Usos not too long ago, where the Usos surpassed their title reign, the number of, I think, 483-day title reign. But other than that, they really haven't done anything. And a lot of that's because Big E's been out, and they just haven't really done much. And my attitude at first, like I said, was NXT is the place to go if there's nothing for you on the main roster. But now that I've sat on it, I think it actually could be a good thing, because I think it'll be a star making moment when they do decide to drop the titles. I think it'll elevate two future superstars even quicker than before. I think it's going to be great. And so I am curious to see what they do. I'm curious to know how long the reign will be. Will they compete at WrestleMania? Will they hold the belts all the way through Mania? Will they drop them at New Year's Evil coming up? Will they drop them at the Rumble? Like, I am curious to know just how long this is going to go. But at first I wasn't feeling it, but now I'm kind of digging it.
Yeah. And I don't think, unless Big E is returning at Mania, which I don't think he is, I don't see them dropping it I think they'll be at the NXT show for Mania weekend. That I should be going to. So I think that's what they'll be doing, because NXT, I mean, what is New Day really doing right now? They're not doing much,
exactly.
Right? I mean,
exactly.
And they're too talented not to do anything. So that's why else I like this. And that led into last night. And Roxanne Perez comes in, and another surprise, back-to-back surprises. She cashes in or whatever, gets her match, and dethrones the greatest NXT Women's Champion to ever live, Miss Mandy Rose, and clean. I was expecting a Cora Jade interference. I was expecting Toxic Traction. She lost clean, man. I mean, she got that win. Good on her. I'm up and down with it, right? Number one, Mandy needs to go to Raw. She needs to go to SmackDown. I don't know what's going on. I'm hearing she's getting married, yada, yada. They're pushing Toxic Traction again, like kind of as a tag team champ. So I think basically Mandy's going to go disappear for a month. Toxic Attraction is going to fingle around and keep themselves relevant on NXT until she comes back. And I think they'll premiere on Raw or SmackDown. I would like to see them go to Raw, maybe be baby faces and feud against Damage Control. Whatever they want to do with it, I'm okay with. But I think it's time for them to go. They did. I mean, she's been champ for 400 and something plus days. The only thing is, and this is what I've been saying about Roman, is that his title reign has been so long that when he loses it, it needs to be to somebody where it feels special and it needs to be built up, right? I do wish they would have built it up. I'm okay with surprises. I like surprises and shock value. I was not expecting her to drop it last night, but imagine a month build. Imagine they have a pay-per-view coming up again. Imagine having it there, building it, letting Roxanne Perez have that moment on that pay-per-view. I think it would have felt better. I know I did a moment of silence, but in all honesty, this is wrestling. It's scripted. Mandy still has a big career. I'm not butthurt about it. It is what it is. I'm more butthurt that she's getting married than I am that she lost the belt. But I think this is good for Roxanne Perez. She needed it. I think she's going to have phenomenal matches with Cora Jade amongst other people. I had been saying this for months, that this was the person that needs to dethrone her. I just wish it would have happened at a different time, just for her, just to give her that better moment. Not many people watch NXT on USA on Tuesday nights. You know what I mean? So I just felt like it would have been better on Peacock in one of their pay-per-view, matches.
Yeah, that's how I felt. I felt the same exact way. I thought that they should have had some build. It should have had it be a feud. Don't just have it just drop it in a random match. That's exactly how it felt. It felt random. While I was shocked, I was more shocked that that's how it ended, as opposed to, oh man, I can't believe Mandy Rose's title reign just came to an end like that. It was more of just like, oh wow, it's over. That's it.
Yeah.
And I thought for sure that Toxic Attraction would cheat and cost Roxanne Perez, and then she would get her rematch at the next pay-per-view, and then maybe that's when she drops it. Because that, to me, that made sense. But again, I'm all for surprises. But yeah, I wish that they would have done it a little bit differently, giving her, give her the moment that she deserves. And like we've said about Roman, whoever dethrones Roman, it's going to be a huge thing, and this should have been a huge thing for NXT. And it kind of felt, okay, well, Mandy Rose is no longer champion. Good night, everybody.
Yeah, basically.
But again, Roxanne Perez was the right person to do it. I just wish that she had a better feud going into it. Mandy Rose and Alba Fire feuded for what, 6 months, 7 months, something like that. They were going at it, and then one match, and Mandy Rose drops it to Roxanne, and it just kind of felt meh. But at the same time, I'm curious to see what happens with Mandy Rose next. I'm kind of, we'll get into how I feel about the women's division a little bit later, but yeah, I wonder what this means. I wonder if she's going to the main roster or if she's going to come back to NXT.
Oh, she's for sure main rostering it up. If future, the history shows with NXT, once that person loses the belt, they'll either come back and lose the rematch or they just move on. And she's moving on, and they need to.
But we thought the same thing about Carmelo Hayes not too long ago when he dropped and he's still on. We thought, oh, for sure, he's going to be Hit Row's partner on SmackDown, and no, it was Shinsuke Nakamura. It was their partner, and
so stupid.
And Carmelo Hayes is still on NXT, which I'm glad that he's still on NXT. But yeah, I think it's time for him to go to the main roster too.
Oh, for sure, yeah, and yeah, definitely. But I think we'll see. The saddest part about all this is that Mandy, there's a good chance she ain't gonna be on my screen anymore. So
yeah,
you're gonna have to put me on watch, y'all. Just make sure you're texting me, looking out for me, making sure I'm okay.
We got Rhea Ripley though, so
dude, right? Yeah. And Alexa Bliss is starting to come back. I mean, we still got Selena. I mean, Selena's been wearing some outfits that are like
Cora Jade.
Yeah. Oh my gosh! Woo! I'm entertained. Are you not entertained? I am entertained by this women's division. And so NXT's hot. The end. Watch it. If you're not watching it, do yourself a favor. Watch it. If you're gonna say you're down with New Japan and you're over here buying ROH pay-per-views, y'all better be watching NXT. It's free and it's dope. Watch it. It's the future. And man, that's our first ever week in review. That was for WWE. Once again, at My Wrestling Opinion on TikTok, follow me, Mr. at Shooting Star PRS, if you want to follow my man Shooting Star Press on TikTok. Also, don't forget YouTube. Hopefully you're watching it on here. Two Dudes with Attitudes, a wrestling podcast. Subscribe. I want to see 100 in 2 weeks. I want to see 100 subscriptions in 2 weeks. Tell your friends, promote it, put it on TikTok. We'll be pushing it. That's my goal. I want 100 in 2 weeks. Y'all can do it.
Yeah.
Also,
it's Christmas.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, sir, it is. That's what all I want for Christmas is 100. Just 100. Let's get 100 in 2 weeks, all right? And you can catch us on Spotify. You're going to catch us on Apple, and we will have link trees in our bios on both of our TikTok accounts. So make sure to subscribe. Check us out. It's good stuff. And with that said, Mr. Shooting Star Press, we're about to start our first ever segment.
That's right.
And our first segment, we're going to start with you, but our first segment is our unpopular opinion. This is where we are going to take something that we think maybe people are enjoying, maybe they're kind of enjoying, but what we're going to say is probably going to make some people upset, be a little bit unpopular, and we are going to discuss it. Shooting Star, as always, you will go first.
All right. So we were talking just a few minutes ago about Mandy Rose going to the main roster in the WWE. And I don't know if I want her to. And the reason why I don't know if I want her to, just like I don't know if I want Toxic Attraction going to the main roster, is because I'm not enjoying what Triple H is doing with the women's division in the WWE. We talked about how he brought back Bayley and Damage Control, and now they're more like Damaged Control as opposed to because they're just hurt. They're always losing. They're not beating Bianca Belair. Triple H is bringing random people back. He brought back Mia Yim, and she hasn't really done much. He brought back Candice LeRae, and she's losing. He brought back Emma, and she wrestled Ronda Rousey, and she lost. It's just like, come on. Like, I don't understand what Triple H is doing, and I'm a little concerned about Mandy Rose going to the main roster just to go and feud with Alexa Bliss or Bianca Belair or Bayley or, who's going to lose between Bayley and Mandy Rose, because Bayley's already lost and my Alexa's going off because I just said Alexa Bliss. But yeah, who's going to lose, Bayley or Mandy Rose? Because Bayley's already been losing a lot, but Triple H likes to have women lose when they come up to the main roster or when he brings them back. So it's maybe Bayley gets her first couple of wins here and starts a run. Is she going to win the women's title? Is she going to get lost in the shuffle? Is she going to beat Ronda Rousey? Is she going to beat Shayna Baszler? If Shayna Baszler takes the title off of Ronda, is she going to beat Bianca Belair? Like, I don't know. And I'm not feeling what Triple H is doing with the women's division. I feel like he's bringing people, and this same could be said across the men's division too, but he's bringing all these people back just to have them lose. But I've really noticed it, especially in the women's division. I thought, especially Damage Control, when he brought them back at SummerSlam, I thought they were going to be like a female version of the Shield. They were going to be dominant. They were going to hold all the titles. They were going to just destroy everybody. And like similar to how the Shield did, just beat up everybody. Doesn't matter who you are, you're going down. And instead, he had them lose. He had Damage Control lose in the women's tag team title tournament to, I can't even
Alexa
remember.
and Asuka.
Yeah, it was Alexa and Asuka at Crown Jewel.
Mm-hmm.
And then but before that, in that tournament, it was I can't remember who it was now, but Raquel Rodriguez and somebody else. They won it for a little bit.
Oh, they did have Raquel win it. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
But I can't remember who her partner was now. That's how unmemorable the women's division is in the WWE at the moment. And I'm all for bringing people back, but I just feel like he's bringing all these women, especially, back with no real plan. And it's really kind of I'm not feeling it. I'm not digging it.
Yeah. And all right, this is you not even bringing up Ronda Rousey. I mean, over there with Shayna and what's going on and who they're wrestling and beating and so on. I mean, I feel you. I think the problem, because I'm going to do both here. I'm going to defend it and then I'm going to play devil's advocate, right? I got to, right? So I think with the problem is the champions. That's my thing, is that Ronda right now is a champ. They don't know what the hell they're doing with her. I mean, they had her go with Shotzi. Now they're kind of lost. Now they're I don't think they know what to do with Ronda. I think they're trying to get her to Shayna at Mania. So Shayna, I think this is all to build her friend up, which Shayna deserves, because Shayna should have been champion in WWE when she first came from NXT. Talking about not getting used properly. But same thing with Bianca, man. I keep saying this. I'm not a Bianca fan. I just am not. But nothing against her. I got why she won it. She was getting a push. People liked her. People don't care about her anymore. There are fans. Yes, there are fans. But 6 to 9 months. That's why I'm okay with Mandy losing the belt. She's had it for over a year. 6 to 9 months needs to be a title reign. It should not be longer than 9 months, unless it's like a Roman or they're just trying to make something epic. But they're bored of her, and they're going to give her people because she needs challengers, and she can't just wrestle the Emmas of the world. So she has to wrestle the Baileys and people, and she's beating them. And it was a mistake of Triple H's, like you said, to put Bayley against her if you were just going to have her lose, and the way she lost, and the way that Bianca just destroyed Toxic Attraction. But devil's advocate is that they are doing some girls right, and Rhea Ripley is a prime example of Triple H booking someone, because before Triple H, Rhea was kind of whatever. Once Triple H took over, they had Dom turn to Judgment Day. They had Rhea kind of take over. Rhea is now kind of like the leader. She ain't losing to nobody anytime soon. She's gonna dethrone Bianca. That's a fact. Rhea is the next women's Raw champion for sure. For sure. Yeah.
But if you remember, Rhea Ripley was the number one contender for the women's championship, and then she got hurt, and they had to, I think they had to replace her with somebody else. Was she going to beat Bianca?
No,
I don't think she was.
Different gimmick though. But I think Triple H now will. So Triple H, I think, has done a lot of these women wrong with bringing them back. And even Alexa got lost in the shuffle. Like, I'm not going to tell, like, right now, I truly think WWE and AEW both are hot messes. I like that over in AEW that Jamie Hayter won the title, and hopefully we can do something with that. But they probably won't. But I mean, she hasn't even wrestled. She's barely even cutting promos. So they're having, Britt Baker do it for her. Yeah. But no, man, I think this women's division is drowning 100%. I do agree with you on that. For sure. Other than Rhea, they are doing Rhea right though. They are.
Rhea's doing well, and I am curious to see what happens with Mandy Rose, because I don't want to think they would do her wrong, but at the same time, I'm not too optimistic. I don't know.
I mean, they better not do Mandy wrong. No. She came over and built herself up for a year herself to become the star she is. To put her over and waste her, blasphemy. That would be. And I mean, and the thing is that Io Sky and Dakota Kai are freaking stars. They're money.
They're great.
If you would have brought them in with Bayley like a Shield type thing where they just kicked ass and weren't in the title hunt, that would have worked. But they wanted her to premiere against Bianca, and that was just the downfall. Look at Bayley right now, man. With her match with Alexa Bliss, no one gave two shits about that match. No. Once again, it's like my Austin Theory thing. I said Austin Theory was buried. People said I was crazy because now they've given him the titles and this and that. Every time he comes out, it's to crickets. You can bury someone and still give them titles. Wade Barrett is a prime example of it. Dude got buried literally by John Cena when he was in Nexus. He
Yeah.
never recovered. They gave him title reigns. They had to give him a stupid gimmick of Bad News Barrett, although he ran with it and it was phenomenal. But he was buried by then, and the crowd never fully embraced him ever again. And I think that's what's going to happen to Theory. That's what we're seeing with Bayley. You can't bury someone like that. Like you said, you can't have them just lose and job all the time and expect the crowd to forget. WWE forgets. Fans don't.
And it's real, to me, it's real disheartening, concerning that Stephanie McMahon is the CEO of WWE, and she was all about the women's revolution and pushing the women and all this. And maybe she's too busy doing other things, and she's not really watching the product that her husband's putting together. But it just seems something seems off in that women's division in WWE. And I want to Triple H deserves his flowers. He's done a damn great job.
Hell yeah, yes.
He has made WWE fun again. So I'm not trying to bag on Triple H. And I just want him to really focus on improving the women's division. And I feel like that's been one of his struggles since he's taken over.
Yeah. Great take, man. Great unpopular take. All right, Shooting. So are you ready for mine?
Yeah. What you got? What do you have?
I think I'm about to make the internet explode. My unpopular opinion. I think the WWE should bring back CM Punk.
What? No.
All right. So hear me out. Hear me out. CM Punk, Mr. GTS himself. So the best in the world, correct? That's what they say. So I am a CM Punk fan, right? I am, right?
Me too.
I don't think he's gone crazy like Kanye, where I need to stop liking him for his personal views and beliefs. I did, when CM Punk came over to AEW, I did start to like him a little bit less. I didn't like during COVID that he was posting things. It was like kind of like the sprinklings of where we can see Punk transitioning into being a hypocrite, whereas where he was telling people to mask up and to be better and this and that, and then he spent every match jumping into the crowd without a mask on and spraying his germs all over people, and then he would then post back saying, "Oh, what I did was fine. You were all vaccinated." Yeah. No, bro, you can't tell people to mask up and then go jump into a crowd without a mask on. Roman Reigns went into a crowd once during an event during COVID and put a mask on to fight the dude in the crowd, and then when he got back out, took his mask off. When you're preaching it, you got to back it up. And I'm not saying anything that you should have worn a mask or not. I'm just saying don't preach it and then not do it is what I'm getting at. And that was like the sprinklings. You can see him. Here's the thing. CM Punk coming back. People are saying he's a cancer, right? Because of what happened to AEW. Remember this. There is a difference between AEW and WWE, okay? And what I mean is that the production, the importance, the business sense of it, you're not going to get away with shit in WWE that you would in AEW. And that's not a knock on AEW. It is what it is. Tony Khan, it's a new promotion. That dude he's kind of lost in managing these big time, filled up with testosterone wrestlers, right? And he let shit get out of hand. This wasn't all CM Punk's fault to begin with. He shouldn't have done what he did 100%. That was unprofessional. I think he wanted out, to be honest with you. I don't think he did that shit because he thought he was going to stick around, or maybe he did because he is cocky. But look back on track records of CM Punk. He has always been like this. This is who he was in WWE. Triple H said it. He brought it out into the promotion and made it into a storyline with CM Punk. He has said this before. So here's the reason why. Bring Punk over. Holy shit, is that like we took Cody, now we're bringing over Punk? That is a pretty big, without having to mention them, a big FU. Yeah, you didn't know how to use Punk. Now we got him. We're going to use him. That's cha-ching. Chicago fans are now back on WWE. All those people still love him. That's money. It's a business. Triple H loves it. I think Triple H contained him once. I think he can contain him again. I don't think he'll have the drama like he did. He might have some people not liking him as much, but a lot of people didn't like him anyway. So I don't think he's going to have the same issues. Secondly, who the fudge doesn't want to see Stone Cold Steve Austin versus CM Punk at WrestleMania? I mean, it was already built up when he dropped this pipe bomb. That is WrestleMania gold. I will be there. I will be crying. I'll be watching that shit. I'm telling you, Triple H, listen to me. I know you're listening to Two Dudes with Attitudes. You listen to my last one. You're going to listen to this one. Sign CM Punk. Bring him over. You know you want to do it. He ain't going to ruin your organization. It's impossible. You've had worse people. I mean, you brought back Hulk Hogan for crying out loud multiple times, and he was a cancer. Bring him back. Shooting star, let me have it.
Triple H, if you're listening, do not bring CM Punk over to the WWE. Things are going fine. And I'm a huge CM Punk fan myself. I love the guy. I marked out when he returned. I am glad. I was glad that he found that itch to wrestle again, especially after 7 years. But he he's hurt. He can't wrestle a match without getting hurt. He wrestled John Moxley and tore his triceps in that match. And now he's out until God knows when. And before that, he broke his foot doing a stage dive into the crowd with FTR.
I was there.
Yeah, and he can't wrestle without getting hurt. And I also just think that Punk is a little, as much as I love the guy, I think he's a little narcissistic, and I don't think your locker room filled with young talent needs that right now. I think that, can you imagine CM Punk coming into the locker room? Because apparently this was the issue in AEW, was he was going to people with advice for the younger guys, and they weren't listening to him. They weren't taking his advice, and he was getting pissed off. But my attitude would be, you've been gone for 7 years, and I've been doing this for 7 years, so I don't need your advice. When you left, you alienated all of us. You stopped talking to all of us. You left guys like Bryan Danielson or Daniel Bryan, while he got pushed while you were gone. You made him kind of be the one to answer questions. And Rey Mysterio tweeted about CM Punk, and Paul Heyman had to answer questions about Punk. You just disappeared. And so can you imagine him going in and telling the Usos, hey, in that tag match, you got a little stiff there on the chops. Can you not do that? Can you imagine him telling Roman that, hey, when you Superman punch me, make it, don't go so hard.
Yeah. He ain't telling Roman nothing. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Can you imagine him telling AJ Styles or Seth Rollins or Bobby Lashley or Brock Lesnar or somebody
but maybe he can guide a Carmelo Hayes or someone like that coming over. You know what I mean? Maybe. And if I was Carmelo Hayes, I'd listen to him. You know what I mean? Like, whether I like him or not. Here's the thing, right? You can always take someone's opinion and listen to what they say and not use it, right? You can say, thank you, all right. And then in the match, if he hits you up in the back afterwards, you can be like, hey, I wasn't feeling it yet, but I'm going to. Thank you for your advice. I appreciate you. And he can take it how he wants to take it. I mean, either way, but do you think those little things will ruin his return with the money that they can? You don't think they'll make money off of him coming back?
I think I 100% think they would make money, but I think it would be Punk has a track record.
He does.
He has a track record. He wasn't in AEW for a full calendar year before he was miserable and unhappy. He got sued by the WWE, by the WWE doctor, who I'm not sure is still there. I don't know if he's still there anymore, but
I don't know either.
He got sued. He lost his best friend because of this lawsuit. Vince McMahon, CM Punk believes that Vince McMahon bankrolled that lawsuit. He really despised Triple H the first time around. That was the whole purpose of his interview with Colt Cabana, was saying that he hates Triple H. He thinks Triple H is an idiot. The whole pipe bomb. I think there was some validity to it. I think there was some reality to it. But the pipe bomb promo, he says WWE is just going to be left to his idiotic daughter and his doofus son-in-law. So there's definitely some animosity there. And CM Punk just seems like a negative person that is coming into what seems to be a positive environment at the moment. And I could just see him crashing it and crushing the spirits, or he gets unhappy because somebody's booked to beat him. Stone Cold Steve Austin is booked to beat CM Punk because, hey, we remember all those shots you took at us in AEW. So now you're gonna come over here and you're gonna job to Stone Cold, or you're gonna job to Cody Rhodes, or you're gonna job to whoever. And I could see him getting mad that he's losing, and because Triple H does that too. When he brings people back, he makes people lose. And so, I could see Punk getting upset, and he's done, and he's unhappy with WWE right now. I wouldn't touch. And again, I'm a huge Punk fan. I followed him his whole career. I watched his 2 shitty MMA matches. I watched him on the challenge, the Real World Road Rules challenge that he did. He was on season 1 of Champs versus Pros and took out Sean Merriman in an elimination. I've watched CM Punk. I've watched all of his movies that he's done, the B-list movies that he's in.
I haven't gone that far yet.
They're not very good, but but I like the guy, and I want him to do well. I watch Heels because of CM Punk. but I wouldn't touch him right now. I
Yeah.
don't think any promotion needs a guy like CM Punk at the moment.
So his
It,
drama is not worth the money, is what you're saying.
yeah, exactly. Your hat says it best. It says toxic up there, and I think that's what Punk is. He's toxic, and
All right.
if things don't go his way, he's gonna get unhappy, and he's gonna tweet about it. He's gonna be pissed, and he's gonna be getting another buyout.
I mean, probably, and that's even if he could even go to WWE but he never had his WrestleMania moment, man. But and in the long run too, is that if he goes back to WWE, he looks worse than WWE does, right? Because then he really looks like a flying hypocrite.
Yeah, he looks like a hypocrite. Yeah,
but he already is. He is a hypocrite. So I can see him doing it. I can see Triple H doing it. I can see them all doing it. But yes, I get it. Shooting star, I respect it. I see where you're coming from. What say you all? So with that said, that was our first ever segment, my man. Unpopular opinion. I dug it. Two good hot topics, man.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, I thought so too.
And everyone, let us know what you think. Put it in the comments. Tell us if you like it. Tell us what you wanted to hear. Tell us what you think about the women's division and what you think about CM Punk coming back to WWE, or should he just disappear for all eternity and enjoy his beautiful wife? I'd
be okay if AJ came back to WWE. I would love that.
So would I, man. She was money. But yeah, man. So let us know. And Shooting Star, we did it. That was our first ever Two Dudes with Attitudes, a wrestling podcast premiere. I think we did all right. I think we did it.
Yeah, I think so too. I think we got it right under an hour. So go listen to wherever you get your podcast. Go watch us on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button. There's going to be more coming this week with AEW. So you're going to get us twice a week. You're going to get these two sexy studs twice a week. So bring it on.
The two sexies of TikTok. That's really quick, just once again, also tag Pro Wrestling Teens and Blue Chew. Let's get some sponsors. I'm sure Shooting Star will think of a couple too. Maybe next week he'll let us know this Friday. Let's get some. Let's get some sponsors rolling up on here. Let's get them before we get too big. Also, Shooting Star brought it to my attention before we started this podcast that from now on, moving forward, possibly starting this Friday, that once you subscribe to our YouTube channel, when we post these vids, you can watch us live. So you might be able to see us do this in person. We are one takers. We don't edit nothing. We're posting and we're doing it. That's how we do. That's what makes a good podcast. So you'll be able to check us out live. We usually do 10 o'clock Western, which is 1 o'clock Eastern time. So if you want to check it out, subscribe, 100 subscribers. We want 100 in at least the first 2 weeks, y'all, on YouTube. Don't forget Spotify. Apple's going to be on there, and our link tree is in our bios at Shooting Star PRS and at My Wrestling Opinion. All right, man. That is it.
Yeah, we did it.
Two Dudes with Attitudes. And as always, I'm Mr. MWO.
I'm Mr. Shooting Star Press.
And let's go. We out. Peace out, y'all. Thank you.